On Wednesday, one day after Canon announced the development of the Canon EOS R1, I was first to break a story about Adorama publishing the Canon EOS R1 specifications. But something felt off, so I reached out to them, and they quickly took the information down. Adorama then sent us an email stating that it turns out none of the specifications for the R1 are real right now. Due to an unfortunate technical error, the Canon EOS R1 page briefly displayed unrelated specifications. We apologize for any confusion and inconvenience. Mistakes certainly do happen. I make my own share of mistakes, and I strongly believe that if you're not making mistakes every now and then, well, you're certainly not trying hard enough. But the one thing of that last statement kind of left me wondering a few things. For example, where did this information come from? Adorama did provide us with a follow-up statement, and here's that. We at Adorama sincerely apologize for any confusion caused by the misinformation shared about the Canon EOS R1. We didn't receive any official specifications or details directly from Canon. So Adorama recognizes the mistake. We recognize it as a mistake. And they even say that these specifications don't come from Canon themselves. But that leads us to the next question. And I'm not going to spend the rest of this video talking about how Adorama might have gotten this information or where the information came from, what could have happened behind the scenes, because I don't see any purpose in doing that. But what is really interesting is how these leaked specifications, or these specifications that showed up on Adorama's website, look very similar to specifications published by E8M8888 on his Weibo account right around January the 16th. In fact, they're identical, word for word, but for a few subtleties due to machine translation. The similarity between the specifications posted by Adorama in E8M tell us one of two things. Either they're both correct, or Adorama's webpage somehow got their specifications from E8M, though we have no idea as to why. But why the specs are identical isn't the real story. The real question is, why do I think these specifications are fake? And the answer is simple, and once you see it, it will be obvious to you as well. Look at this specification here. Enhanced dynamic range, better than the EOS R3 and the EOS R5. That's not how Canon, Adorama, or B&H list specifications for cameras. They're specific, they're quantifiable. These specifications that we're seeing here, they're providing an editorial, they're providing opinion, and Canon would never do that, neither would Adorama or B&H. They don't provide editorial, and they don't compare one camera to another. Look at these specifications for the EOS R3. 24 megapixels, full frame stacked BSI CMOS sensor, 30 frames per second electronic shutter, 12 frames per second mechanical shutter, wired LAN and 5 GHz Wi-Fi support, 5.76 million .EVF, 6K RAW, 60 frames per second, 4K 120 10-bit internal video. Look at them. Look at each one of them. Look how precise they are. They're short, they're concise, and they're specific. They're quantifiable. They don't compare, and they never do. These specs by E8M8888, they're fine as rumors and perhaps leaks, but certainly not for Adorama. So the next question to ask is, how close are actually E8M8888 sourced when looking at the Canon EOS R1 specifications? A previous Canon Rumors article stated there's been recent talk around the web about the Canon EOS R1 specifications, and he's alluding to E8M8888 specifications. He goes on, we've been working to verify the information before posting them, and as it turns out, the specifications are, and I quote, pretty close to reality, at least according to a solid source. And that was in January, and other than validating the specs enough to be able to post that story, Canon Rumors hasn't come out since providing any updates to detailed leak specifications for the Canon EOS R1, providing specifics around the sensor, the image processor, frame rates, dynamic range, ISO, all that stuff you'd expect leading up to a major announcement. And with Canon's development announcement that happened just this week, we've received no validation, no verification. I haven't received anything from any of my valid sources. All my trusted sources have told me regarding the Canon EOS R1 is where we can expect to see this camera, that we can expect to see pre-production models in the hands of pro photographers at the Paris Olympics coming up here on July the 26th. That regular folk like you and I, non-special red listed customers that get that special red envelope or whatever specific envelope they get, saying, congratulations, the rest of us, well, we're going to have to wait until sometime after summer, which is most likely pointing us to a October shipment. At least that's what I'm being told. No specifications, nothing valid, nothing leading us to what we could see in these specifications. And so it doesn't really change E8M8888's source. Now, E8M8888 is a very good source for reporting camera registrations. They never get it wrong. But when it comes to sources giving them information about leaked camera specifications, they have a very bad track record. And even Andrea Pizzini has said so himself. We will get leaks soon. Hopefully hear from this channel. I've developed some accurate and reliable sources, trusted sources that get things right almost all the time. No, I'm just kind of sitting here going about my daily life and posting videos, doing patent application videos, looking after my family and doing my day job. And then every now and then I get an email from one of my trusted sources giving me information, like I published just a few days ago on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II and why it's a wow camera and dates and all that sort of stuff. I just have to be patient, and I can be patient. We've got plenty of time. Leaks will come out and validating the information. And if we look for inventory sales event indicating an imminent release, looking at the Canon EOS 1DX Mark III, it's yet to be discounted. It's yet to go on sale. Though the Canon EOS R3 is significantly discounted by $1,500 from its release price. So currently we can't read into sales events in terms of leading indicators for what might be coming soon. However, again, I want to call your attention to what my source said about the Canon EOS R1, is that it will be available by the 2024 Olympics to specific pros. And we get leaked information long before then. And then for the rest of us, of course, it will be widely available before it ships at the end of October. The race is on. We are going to start to get leaked specifications on that camera, but it's probably not going to happen for at least a couple of weeks. And we saw this with the Canon EOS R5. Once you get that development announcement, look to the next major trade show, and likely there, Canon's going to give us some sort of hint. Look to this channel. Look to Canon Rumors as providing leaked information because, again, I do have this reliable source and he trusts me with information, so I wouldn't be surprised if by the middle of June we'll have more leaked information on the Canon EOS R1. But next week we're looking towards the Canon EOS R5 as perhaps having some sort of leaked announcement. There's nothing guaranteed at this point, but just call me a little bit suspicious. Anyhow, this is a perfect segue into deals of the week. While the 1DX Mark III isn't on sale, you can purchase the 1DX Mark II for $29.99. And another notable DSLR, the 7D kit, with the 18-35, it can be had for $750 off. But if you're looking for a modern camera, well, boy, is there an awful lot on sale. If you don't want to wait for the latest and the greatest, if you don't have a fear of missing out, well, take a look at the Canon EOS R5, a groundbreaking camera that is still one of the most powerful cameras on the market for $28.99. The Nikon Z8 Mark II, the Nikon Z8, which came out 2 years later and is now 2 years old, can be had for $34.96. It's better than the Canon EOS R5 in some ways. It's a more modern camera, and at $34.96 is a terrific camera at a really good price. And then, of course, there's the Nikon Z6 Mark II, the Nikon Z7 Mark II, a whole bunch of Canon cameras. We're seeing sales like we've never seen before. The R100, the R50, the R8, best sales ever. So go ahead and take a look at B&H and Adorama. Incredible deals going on. And actually in the description down below, these are just a couple of the links I have here, but if you look at the description down below, you'll see I've got a whole bunch of listed products from Canon to Nikon with incredible sales on right now. And even Fujifilm just announced a few medium format cameras, and they've got some significant discounts too in the description down below. If you do purchase using these affiliate links, I do want to be transparent. I get anywhere from 3 to 12% back, depending on what's on sale, depending on what you purchase. And that goes right back to supporting this channel. I really appreciate those of you that have used my affiliate links. It's what really helps fund this channel. With 52,000 views, or sorry, subscribers, it's not really enough to fund a channel. And so the affiliate links really kicks in. It's what's allowed me to buy the 100 to 500, the 200 800, the R5 Mark II, the 50mm f1.2, and even the editing suite upstairs. So a big thanks to you. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest, we're breaking an awful lot of information here on the R5 Mark II and the EOS R1. We were the only one to predict the development announcement date and time frame before everybody else. I was asleep in bed when everybody else came out with their videos because I was able to report the information some 14 hours earlier. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest, then go ahead and subscribe and choose all notifications. But you might also want to follow me on X. That's right, I'm calling it X because it's now x.com. They're finally moving away from Twitter. I'm able to tweet out information about news stories that aren't quite big enough to have a separate video. And it's a good way for me to provide commentary on what's going on in my daily life that's related to cameras. Unfortunately, I asked for your feedback in the last video, but because I've been so busy with work, and I'm shooting this in my lunch break on Friday, that I haven't had a chance to review your comments at this point. So hopefully this is only going to take about half an hour to shoot. And where are we up to right now? 22 minutes. So that should give me enough time to go upstairs, enjoy my lunch, and provide some commentary based on the questions you provided in the comment section. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Recall at the beginning of the video where I said Adorama said that as it turns out, the specs for the R1 are not real right now. How do they know they're not real? Did they get other information from a trusted source? Were they told by Canon they're not real? Oh, a cliffhanger. We are going to find out more information. Anyhow, have yourself a great weekend. Have yourself a great long weekend if you're here in Ontario. And we'll see you again soon.